What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. I know it's been quite some time, but I've returned. I'm going to start releasing videos more regularly, just talking about different setups that I'm seeing in the market on specific stocks, as well as the overall direction of the market and things to look out for. Obviously, this week we had Nvidia. Everyone was looking at the earnings, and they actually did beat on top line revenue as well as their forecast for earnings. However, the stock did drop after hours, and that was primarily due to the fact that revenue probably didn't grow as much as what investors actually expected, as well as a slight compression in profit margins, and they're down roughly 7% after hours. So likely will be red tomorrow. The overall setup on Nvidia, obviously we had this big breakout to the upside after it broke through 95, and then it kind of topped out around 140. With the recent down movement in the stock market, there was a strong bounce to the upside once we retested that level around 92, and then we broke back to the upside, but obviously after hours, and that this is now back inside this pattern. So if that holds, if this line holds, I fully expect us to trend all the way back down towards this lower level. And obviously some of these other AI stocks, I do think that we are in a similar dot-com type bubble over the last 2 years that has built up, and we're probably towards the end of that cycle. I think that AI is such a new technology that it still doesn't quite know how to actually make money, and so a lot of money has been invested into it. A lot of people have been chasing these stocks, most notably Nvidia, and I think that there will be a larger correction in the overall market. Looking at SPY, we're heading into September. September is usually a down month just from like a seasonality perspective, and then we also do have the first rate cut that is coming in September. So look out for that, how the market reacts to that. We might have some selling into it, and then I do expect that at least initially that we'll have a rally in the stock market once rate cut, the first rate cut does happen. Now, the election, obviously that's on everyone's mind. I do think that once we get out to that election, if you just look at the VIX curve, and if you remember back to 2020, we did have an initial sell into the election, and then after the election, we kind of know what to expect. And then there was a rally, actually a really large rally in 2020 when Biden was elected. So I do think we'll probably follow a similar pattern to that year. So probably a down month in September. We'll have probably a bounce on rate cuts. People will think the coast is clear. Everything's going to rally from there. The Fed is now easing. They're dovish. We'll have a move to the upside. And then I think just like we did in 2020 with the internet dot-com bubble, we'll probably face something similar next year. So that's kind of my quick and dirty thought process on how I'm playing the roadmap for 2024 into 2025. So maybe something like this, we bounce, and then we'll have a further move to the downside. I do think that we're going to enter into a recession next year. So really, whatever happens here, I think it's irrelevant. We're going to have a big move to the downside after the election, likely starting in the next 3 to 6 months. So that's kind of what my roadmap I'm looking at. I do think it's going to be a great time to start buying stocks for the long term once this larger move does play out. And I'm going to be covering that all here on this channel, just giving you a bunch of different setups to look at. So stay tuned for that. Hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you subscribe. I'll be posting more in the future. See you soon. Peace.